Mike Moore Media.
In our studios today, Nate Wood to talk about his new book. He is former pastor of Hampton Heights Baptist Church here in Eden. Hey, Nate, how you doing?
Hey, Mike. Good to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you back, and it's good to see you. And how are things in western North Carolina?
Cold.
Yeah.
It's, of course, mountainous and definitely a little bit different climate than it is here. So I noticed when I came down the mountain, it got warmer, so I was excited.
Yeah. And it's going to be even warmer this weekend. It's going to be a warm Easter weekend.
That's what I hear.
Okay. Well, I said you're here to talk about your new book, and that is Ian and His Green Rubber Boots. I love this book. This is so good. So tell us how this all came about.
Since Ian had been born in 2020, I had jokingly said to my wife I was going to write a book about Ian.
Now, let's first tell us who Ian is.
Ian is our grandson, and he does live with my wife and I, and he's just growing so quickly and personality coming out. And when we still lived here in Eden, we went for a little walk outside our neighborhood off of Windy Road.
Yeah.
And we came back to the house, and Ian he wanted to wear his boots to do the walk. And I was like, well, maybe you should wear your sneakers because that's a little more comfortable. But no, he insisted on wearing his boots.
Sure.
And so
Okay.
when I got back to the house, I popped open my laptop, and this story just came to be in about
Really?
15 minutes.
No kidding.
I wrote it in 15 minutes, took a year to publish.
So that the seed was planted right there quickly in Eden.
It was.
Yeah.
So the story, of course, about Ian and his green rubber boots is about him wearing his boots throughout the day, doing different things. So cute little story.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's a precious book, and the artwork and all of this. How do you go about? You said you wrote it, and then it took a while to get it published. How do you go about publishing a book?
I actually contacted a publishing group called Christian Faith Publishers, and they worked with me step by step on everything. And I don't begrudge it being a long process because they did an excellent job on the book.
Yeah.
But they walked me through from the initial stage of setting up a package of what I wanted them to do, and then there was, of course, what they would do for me in return. And so it worked out really good. And they're in the promotion stage right now. And so they're sending out promotions to different radio networks and bookstores and things like that, and newspapers, all that.
Okay. Well, I know you've already done some interviews, but you think you'll be on the circuit out there, going around doing lots of interviews nationwide?
I don't know. It could be a little scary to do that, but I like to stick with places and people I know, at least to some degree. But it's an exciting opportunity. I have to admit, I've never done anything like this in my life, aside from pastoring a church and preaching in different locations. Writing is a new territory for me.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, and Ian's excited too. He likes to see his book on the bookshelf at home.
Sure. Oh, yeah. How exciting will that be when he goes into the bookstores and there's the book?
Exactly.
Yeah. And you said again in the beginning, how old is Ian now?
He is 3. He'll be 4 this year in September.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, kind of take us through the book a little bit here and what this is all about, because you haven't just written a book for your pleasure. There's a purpose behind this too.
There is. Of course, the story of the book is just to be imaginative and fun. I wanted to bring kids away from the controversial cultural stuff and just have something that's simple and fun and lets a kid be a kid. And so, obviously, you see as you read the book, Ian is just indulging in being a kid. He's imagining things. He's going through different scenarios with his boots on. And of course, ending up at the end of the day with his boots still on in the bathtub, and so it's a cute little story in that regard. I wanted it something to be simple, to be fun, and arouse the curiosity and imagination of a child.
It seems that's gotten lost along the way, hasn't it?
It does, and especially with our culture. Everybody wants to promote their own agenda on the children today. And I think that's a disservice to our culture, a disservice to our children. It doesn't allow them to grow up like you and I did, Mike, just being free. And, of course, we grew up in a day when our parents would probably not even know where we were most of the day, outside playing or whatever. But now kids are so hovered over and sheltered to a degree, but then you send them off to a public school and they lose that protection. And books are pushed onto them, stories are pushed onto them that would be, in many cases, unwholesome to the lifestyle of a child.
Yeah. Well, I'm a lot older than you, so I have those memories of being out until maybe the street lights came on, and I was in a town, grew up where there was not even a stoplight. I think they added one later, but I remember the days down at the creek.
Down the creek.
And playing in the woods and friends and all of those things that kids just don't seem to get to enjoy today.
True.
I'm sorry. Somebody calling in wanting to get you signed up for a book tour now.
Okay. Oh, my. They work fast. I have also written another book, which is actually currently with the publisher, and it's called Ian and the Snowman.
Oh, really?
Which builds off that same kind of imaginative process. The snowman just becomes different characters for Ian to play with. And, so that's another one in the pike and coming down the road. Should be ready about this time next year.
Okay, so you'll be back to talk about that one for sure.
I'll be back, yeah.
Now, how quickly did that one come? As fast as 15 minutes like this one?
It was just, it took me a little bit to get to the thought process in my head, but once it came, it went pretty quick. So I would say, I tend to get things, I think about things for a while, and then once I have it in my head, I sit down and I start writing. And I probably spent maybe a month in my head, but then another maybe 20 to 30 minutes. It's a little longer than this one, so maybe about 30 minutes writing it.
Okay.
And my wife thought I was doing something more productive, but it turned out I was just writing another book.
Now, the name of that one is?
Ian and the Snowman.
Ian and the Snowman. So, do we see a continuing series here? That's 2 so far.
That's a good possibility. I have some other ideas in my head that I'm still working with, but hopefully maybe we'll see more down the road.
Oh, this is exciting, Nate. Yeah, and you said earlier about you're not a writer, now you're a published author, but you are a writer. You've written many sermons and many messages in your ministry, and it just kind of takes you in a little different direction.
It does. And preaching is interactive for me, at least. I tend to watch people's responses, facial expressions, and things like that when I'm preaching, and that kind of determines a direction I may go in my message. Writing a book, however, I don't have that instant reaction from people. So typically I write it and sit down and read it to my wife, and then the reaction I get from her will gauge where I go with it.
Yeah, okay. So you've got a kind of limited audience now.
I do.
As opposed to a congregation.
And of course test it on Ian to see if he likes it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. That's the ultimate test there. So tell us what you're doing with this book, because there's a purpose here, as I said.
There is. I have partnered with Baptist Children's Homes of North Carolina Adoption Services, and currently there are over 5,000 children in North Carolina in foster care.
Wow.
I got that backwards. It's 10,000 children. There are only 5,000 available homes for those 10,000 children.
Well, let's say that again. So there are 10,000 children. Say that again.
Yes, there are. It's actually over 10,000 children in foster care in North Carolina or in need of foster care.
Yeah, in need of foster care.
And only 5,000 approximate homes available for those children.
My goodness.
And so the adoption services are working with those foster kids to try and place them into permanent homes to kind of break up that little backstop or backlog, if you will, of children needing into those foster homes. And so I am giving a portion of each book sale to the Baptist Children's Homes Adoption Services to help with that process.
Oh, that's a great idea for that. So when we look for this book out there, we're really helping with the adoption services with Baptist Children's Home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would add that, while they get a portion from each sale of this book, they're still in great need.
Yeah.
They have an operation budget. I don't know the exact figures, but obviously it's quite extensive. If you go to their website at baptistchildrenshomes.com, might be .org, I can't remember, but you go to their website, you'll have all the details on their adoption services. There's a link on their page to that. They actually, Baptist Children's Homes merged with the Christian adoption services just a couple years ago. So they now are part of the Baptist Children's Home process of helping children in this life. And an interesting thing about it is that these children who go through Baptist Children's Home are not just, placed in a foster care or placed in a home or put up for adoption just to get them off their books. It's more an aspect of nurturing these children to show that somebody does care for them, somebody does love them, and not only is it a human person, but God loves them more. Mm-hmm. And so there's a spiritual aspect involved with these children. They want to place these children into homes that are loving Christian homes to demonstrate to these kids who have been hurt or abused by their families that they can have a family that does love them and care for them and nurture them up in the admonition of the Lord.
Yeah, what good work they're doing. Where can we get this book?
It is not available in retail stores yet. Okay. It is available online through many retailers. Amazon, of course, has it. Barnes & Noble has it. Books A Million has it online. I actually talked with a Books A Million manager just recently, and they said that they will probably get some of these books in the store, but it takes a little time for them to get them in the store. So, and then there's, let me see, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon, Thrift Books. Thriftbooks.com actually has the best price right now. The book retails for $25.95, but you can get it at Thrift Books for $20.48, I think, something like that. So,
all right.
Save about $5 off your cost.
All right. So lots of places online. We can get it right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will be in maybe perhaps Walmart in near future. It was at Walmart online for a short while, for a few weeks actually, when the publisher first made it available. But it's gone now. I don't know why, but it's up to Walmart if they want to carry it or not. So
yeah.
You can always request from your local Walmart manager to get this book.
That's exactly right, yeah. Ian and His Green Rubber Boots. It's by Nate Wood. We know him fondly here when he was pastor at Hampton Heights Baptist Church in Eden, and now up in Ashe County, and written his first book and another one on the way, it
Indeed.
Sounds like. Yeah. Anything in our closing moments here, Nate?
No, I'm grateful to your listeners and grateful to you, Mike, for giving me an opportunity to share this with your listeners, and hope that everyone will be blessed by the story of Ian and his green rubber boots.
Well, thank you for coming into the studio today and sharing this story with us, how it all came together, and how much fun you're having with Ian. And the new book out, Ian and His Green Rubber Boots. So look for that. Find it online, Amazon and Barnes & Noble and other book sellers as well. Thank you, Nate.
Thank you, Mike.
Please come back again soon.
Definitely.
Okay.